weight loss transformation videos. I know you've seen them before, right? Something like this, like that, like this, you know, millions of views, really inspirational, probably some epic dubstep music or something in the background. That's not what this video is going to be. And you know why? Because a lot of these videos just show you the journey, but they don't show you how that person got there, you know, the science behind it, right? So not only do I have the journey documented, you know, going from this to this, right? Look at that. And I have various different pictures and, you know, me documenting my journey. You guys have seen that before. You've seen people day by day, you know, put in the effort, you know, a video in the gym, a video in the kitchen maybe, you know. But I don't want it to be a simple video. You saw the title. It's your last weight loss transformation video. And the idea is I'm going to give you everything, I mean everything top to bottom about how you can have finally your own weight loss transformation. I'm spilling the tea, you know, these fitness influencers might hate me. You know, I'm taking everything from their programs and giving it to you for free. And you know, the only thing I want in exchange is just, you know, subscribe, a like, a comment. But hey, let me give you the value first, then you can see if it warrants that. But yeah guys, so without further ado, no more having to wear, you know, a big baggy shirt when you go into the pool, you know, pulling down your shirt like this every time you talk to a girl. Don't worry, I've been there. So yeah guys, let's get into it. Alright, so without further ado, the way I organize this video in my notes is in 7 sections, alright? As you can see right here, right? And the first being the foundation, alright guys? This is probably the most important section, and only if you saw this section alone, you would be probably like 50% of the way there in your weight loss transformation, because a lot of people just don't know what are the real science, the basics of weight loss. It's really simple, right? So all these different special berry juices to lose weight, that's not what it is. It'll never be that. But I'm gonna give you guys first the foundation. Let's get into it. So when it comes to weight loss, guys, it really is as simple as this one statement I'm gonna say, guys. It's not any more complicated than that. In fact, all weight loss programs, diets, influencers, they all kind of trick you into this one statement, right? They all kind of finagle you into this one statement, which is really the truth of weight loss, right? And that is, you probably heard it before, calories in versus calories out. That's weight loss. That's literally what it is, right? And let's break down what does that really mean, right? So calories by definition means a simple source of energy. In other words, it's a unit of energy. So you could say a statement as energy in versus energy out, right? And we all know how we get energy in, right? We eat food. That's why foods have calories. Boom. See, things are starting to connect already. And when it comes to calories out, aka energy out, that is through any method in which we are burning calories, right? So when we even walk around, when we work out, even when we talk, we are actually burning calories, because for our body to function, it needs energy, right? Even for the organs to work, right? Which kind of gets into metabolism, right? So metabolism is basically the process of turning the food that we eat into energy, right? To do our organs, to do even bigger things like working out and moving around. That is our metabolism. So how quick can it turn this stored energy into the stored food into real energy, right? Into output. So when it comes to calories in versus calories out, how does that relate to weight loss? Well, I'm gonna get into it. Think about it. If you take as many calories in as you are taking out in a day, that means that your weight will stay the same, because you are burning just as much as you are intaking energy. Now, how about if you're intaking more energy, aka calories, than you are burning? What's going to happen? You're going to have some leftover energy, and your body did not use it. So what's going to happen? From an evolutionary perspective, your body's going to want to keep it for later, right? Because back in the day, we didn't know when the next time we were going to get some food. You know, we had to go hunt for it. So your body will actually keep it as fat. Fat is literally the storage of energy. Now we're getting somewhere, right? So most likely you watching this video, you are intaking more calories, aka energy, than you are actually using or burning. So your body, because it doesn't know that we're living in this new age where we can just get food whenever we want, it wants to keep it for later, which is why you are now fat. Alright, so now let's take the reverse, right? What if you were intaking less calories than you are burning? So the energy you're putting out every day is more so than the energy you're putting in. Well, the body needs some place to get that difference, and they're going to get it from the storage of energy that you have, which is burning fat, which is using the fat storage in use, right? So that's how you lose weight. It's all about this calories in versus calories out. And what the fitness industry has done is that they have clouded this from you. They have kind of hid it behind so many fad diets, you know, paleo, keto, whatever these fitness influencers are saying nowadays to lose weight. But the truth is, all these diets, in essence, come down to this formula. So let's say I go on the typical keto diet, right? And I cut out all my carbs. well, chances are I'm going to be in a caloric deficit. I'm going to be eating less calories than I would so normally, so I'm going to lose weight because I'm cutting out an entire macronutrient profile, which is carbs, right? Which I don't agree is the healthiest approach, by the way. But that's the idea, right? So that's one of the huge foundations of weight loss, calories in versus calories out. So the second foundational thing that you must know when it comes to weight loss, that is happens through 80% diet and 20% fitness. It's a huge misconception in the whole fitness industry that if you want to lose weight, it's done in the gym, that it's done, you know, in some laborious long cardio, long jogs where you're exerting yourself and you're sweating. And yeah, like it could happen that way, but that's not necessarily the smartest way to lose weight. In fact, when it comes to weight loss, if you want a sustainable way to keep the weight off, it's not going to be through busting your butt every day in the gym or in some cardio workout and still not changing the foundation of your intake of energy, your eating habits, right? Because your eating habits is what got you fat. So changing your eating habits is what's going to get you skinny and in shape again, right? In fact, I really even go far enough to say that if you like ace that 80% of the diet, what you do for the 20% of your fitness is kind of irrelevant, to be honest. In fact, I think that the 20% of fitness is just making sure that when you do lose weight, you have some good shape and structure. In my weight loss transformation, I actually did 𝗧𝗵𝗏𝗃𝗃 cardio, like very minimal cardio, and that's intentional because cardio is not necessary for losing weight. Even some studies have shown that, you know, some forms of long distance cardio can increase cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and you don't need that. So I'm saying all this to say that if you want to lose weight, it's through consistent effort of controlling your diet. That's what got you fat, that's what's going to get you fit. And the 20% that is fitness is more so should go to resistance training, towards a type of training that can give your body some shape. So when you lose the weight, you don't look like a toothpick, you actually have some muscle down there, right? Alright, so moving on into the next section of this video, I'm going to talk about diet, right guys? So this part is really important. It's the part that you actually want to pull out a notebook and pen, or maybe pull out your phone and your notes, because this is what's going to be 80% of your weight loss transformation. Like I said, it's going to be the highest leveraging point. The diet, right? Controlling your intake of calories, controlling your intake of energy. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so working off the foundation, right? We know that to become fat, you have intaked more energy, aka calories, than you've burned, right? And that the way that you became fat was through eating, not through a lack of exercise, it's through intaking food. So the number one way to become fit is actually fixing all of your eating habits. So in regards to that, here's the really underrated thing when it comes to food, right? Like a mindset shift that you should put in yourself so that you can actually lose weight, and is that a lot of the reason why you guys are fat is because you associated food with pleasure. You know, in today's modern age, the way that food is made, especially from these big companies, is that they want to practically biohack your tongue and your taste buds and your dopamine receptors, so that food is now not only serving as energy, but now it serves as a source of immense pleasure. Like just to eat is pleasurable enough, and that's why we don't even have to be hungry to eat anymore. Like if someone put like I don't know, like some fast food in front of you, you probably just eat it. Like you wouldn't be like, I have enough energy, my energy balance is right. No, you'd probably just eat it, and that reason is because food tastes too good. Like it's that's the whole point of processed food, right? It's literally engineered to biohack your body, to biohack your hormones, so that you just love eating it and you keep eating it, right? So when it comes to the diet section of this video, I just want to start off by saying I want you guys to make a mindset shift in your relationship with food. You probably have an addiction to food as a source of pleasure, and as many of us know, we seek pleasure a lot of the times because whenever we're stressed, whenever we're overwhelmed. If you ever want to lose weight, you have to understand that, you know, you have to disconnect food and pleasure. It just has to be two different things. You have to eat only when you're hungry and when it's necessary, right? So, and until you make this mindset shift, anytime that you face any kind of resistance or adversity in life, which will happen, you're gonna seek food, and that's not gonna help you. Even if you're, you know, putting in all the things I'm telling you to, you have to make that mind shift now. Alright, so now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the diet section. I talked about calories in versus calories out, and the best way to leverage this knowledge into losing weight is to find your maintenance calories. So your maintenance calories is exactly how it sounds, right? It's the amount of calories that you take every day to maintain your weight. Another way to think about maintenance calories is this is the amount of calories on average that you burn every day, right? So it's the amount of calories that is coming out of you, right? So imagine if you eat the average amount of calories that are coming out of you, if you intake that much, then nothing can happen with your weight because you are burning at the same level that you are intaking, right? There's no need for storage of fat, and there's also no need of getting energy from your storage of fat. So to calculate your maintenance calories, it's actually a really simple calculation. It's your body weight in pounds times 15. That's your maintenance calories, right? So I don't care who you are, what you are, that's typically a good number to move forward as your maintenance calories. If you eat that amount every single day, right, you will maintain the weight that you are. Here's the magic. Here's what I did when I lost weight, right? You take that number and subtract 300 calories. And then that will be your caloric deficit calories, the amount that you'll eat every single day to lose weight. That is exactly what I did in my journey. Alright, so now you have your maintenance calories, the amount of calories to maintain your weight, and you also have your caloric deficit calories, the amount of calories so that you can start losing weight, right? If you ate that much every day. Now you might be thinking to yourself, okay Michael, so what's the next step? I know these numbers, does that mean I have to count calories? Like how am I going to count calories? The answer is counting calories, in my opinion, is the best diet. It's the only diet that can really get you guaranteed results, right? All the other fad diets, like I said, keto, paleo, vegan, whatever you believe in, all those diets trick you, as far as weight loss goes, into being a caloric deficit. It tricks you into eating your caloric deficit numbers through whatever methodology they tell you, right? So as long as you count your calories, you can practically eat whatever. Alright, so hypothetically, what you could do is eat chocolate bars worth of calories all the way up until your caloric deficit, and you would still lose weight. Like, you could literally eat anything, right? Now, that comes into the question of what is the healthiest approach, because just because you could eat anything and be in caloric deficit doesn't mean you should, especially if you care about your well-being, you know, your general health, and also what you want to look like when you lose weight, which gets into macros. I like to look at macros, aka macronutrients, as like the check and balances of counting your calories. It's like once you have this understanding that you can count your calories and lose weight and it'll happen, macros is kind of like you can't just do it like that. It's not going to be that easy, because macronutrients basically are the content of the food that you eat, right? So if I was to eat only chocolate bars for my caloric deficit, that would be all carbs. Carbs is a type of macronutrient, as we know, and there's 3 of them, right? So there's carbohydrates, there's fats, and there's protein. These 3 combination of macronutrients makes up all foods. So if you were to eat a steak, you'd probably inherently know this is high in protein. It's a meat, right? So if you were to eat a pastry like a croissant, you'd know this is high in carbs. If you were to eat a bunch of avocados, you would know that that's high in fat. So you guys actually have a pretty good understanding as it is what the content of a lot of foods are. It's just that when it comes to weight loss and counting your calories, there's something called macro splits. So basically what that means is taking your daily calories and splitting that into percentages for each macronutrient, right? So the macro split that I did, right, and I think is the healthiest one, is a 30-30-40 split. So what that means is 30% of your calories, right, is going to go to fats, 30% of your calories is going to go to carbs, and 40% of your calories is going to go to protein. So every day when you're counting your calories, you have to make sure that the food that you're intaking not only hits the right caloric number, right, but also these foods make up so that 30% is going to fats, 30% is going to carbs, and 40% is going into protein. And you can check that through your macronutrient gram goals every day. I know things are getting a little bit complicated, but just bear with me here. I'm gonna try to break it down the simplest way I could, right? So the best way that I look at approaching this is that when it comes to counting your macros, right, the most important, and I think the part that you should put the most attention to is making sure that you hit the 40% for protein, or in other words, the whatever number grams of protein per day. So a popular mantra in the fitness community is that the number of grams of protein that you need a day is actually just your weight in pounds, right? So I weigh 175 pounds. That means every day I should get a bare minimum of 175 grams. And guess what? If I get a bare minimum of 175 grams, that will put me at 40% of my calories going to protein. And if 40% of my calories go to protein, by nature, by the nature of food, the carbs and the fat will actually naturally hit those percentages, right? So when it came to my weight loss journey, you know, I was counting my calories, being in a caloric deficit, and the only thing I made sure as far as macros go was to hit the right number of grams of protein. And by doing that alone, naturally my fat and my carbs hit around 30% each time, and my protein is definitely 40% or above. Now I know that was a lot of math that we just did, guys, but like I said, guys, when it comes to a weight loss transformation, it's calories in versus calories out. And I wanted to give you guys all the information so that when you lose weight, you know how much calories you have to eat every day. You know of those calories how much has to go to the right macronutrients so that you can maintain a good frame and keep your body and hormonal health in a good place too, and not just eat anything, right? Because I'm sure you guys want to make gains while you're losing weight, and to do that your macros need to be in the right place. So now that you guys have all those numbers, right, you've equipped yourself with all the knowledge as far as calorically how to lose weight, all you need now is a calorie counting app. And the two that I recommend using is MyFitnessPal or MyPlate. Contrary to most weight loss people or even fitness influencers, I actually like MyPlate. I've used MyPlate in my journey and it was really simple. So since I don't want this video to be too long, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of how to count calories, but guys, you know, it is as simple as like scanning barcodes for like packaged product or searching up what the calories are whenever you eat out like a certain meal or entree, and finally whenever you eat home, using a food scale to weigh the food that you're eating. Quick tips when trying to implement this, guys, is you're going to realize that once you start counting your calories, you can't eat out the way that you used to. You can't buy a lot of packaged food because it's not going to fit in your macros nor your caloric deficit. So you're going to have to take upon the skill of cooking home, because the best way to make sure that you hit your numbers is just to make the food yourself and, you know, make sure that you're getting the right amount of protein or fat or carbs. Because if you eat typical outside processed food, packaged food, you're going to realize that it's very carb heavy and very fat heavy and not protein powder heavy. Oh shit. And not protein heavy, which gets into my second quick tip is, guys, the only supplement I'd say that you guys really need in this weight loss transformation is just protein powder, because you're gonna find out when counting your calories, it's really hard to hit that number of protein every day. Alright guys, so that's the main crux of the diet section. If you count your calories, if you hit your macros every day, you are actually doing 80% of the weight loss transformation. The hard part is just staying consistent and just day in and day out, potentially cooking almost every day to hit those numbers and make sure that you're in that deficit. That's the hard part, but you guys have the knowledge necessary now. Man, I can tell it's gonna be a long video. Fuck. Alright, now into the next section, training, which is only 20% of the weight loss transformation. It is by far not the most important aspect of your journey, right? I think you guys should put a lot of energy and time into the diet section, rewatch it. But when it comes to training, the biggest thing I'll tell you guys is, especially if you're a guy trying to lose weight, is that the best training is resistance training, right? Resistance training pretty much means weightlifting. Weightlifting is a type of training that will get you gains, right? That will get you the physique that you want, right? Because it's not enough just to lose weight, right? You guys, I'm sure you guys want to build muscle on your way down, and you have to do that through resistance training. Now, for the sake of this video not being already longer than it is, I'm not going to give you guys the exact program that I did for my weight loss transformation, but I will say whatever program you do decide to do, weightlifting program, I'd say make sure it's around 3 to 5 days, right? I think 6 days a week or more is just too much. You need to give your body time to rest. Gains are actually made when you rest, when you sleep, so getting good sleep is important. But hey, I will say, not to sidetrack any more than I am already. A second thing is make sure that the program that you choose focuses on progressive overload. That means that every time you go into the gym, you're incentivized to lift heavier weight. That's a big reason to why you're going to gain muscle, is progressive overload. And the third thing I will say is make sure that your program incorporates some version of reverse pyramid training, right? So I'm not going to get into exactly what that means, but it's just the way that you structure your set and reps so that you're lifting the heaviest weight first for a low amount of reps, and then you lift a little bit lighter weight for a higher amount of reps. That way you can get both the low rep and high rep benefits. So yeah, those are the 3 things I'd recommend. If you're an absolute beginner to the gym, a good program I'd recommend for you guys is Strong Lifts 5x5. It's all compound movements, and compound movements are pretty much the bread and butter of weightlifting. It's, you know, the typical bench, squat, deadlift, things like that. Things that are gonna give you the best bang for your buck as far as muscle goes, right? Compound means multiple muscles. A big reason why I stress the importance of hitting your protein every day in the diet section of this video is because if you guys want to make gains, your protein just has to be high enough that it can happen, right? If you don't give the muscles the material to make muscle, they're not gonna build muscle, right? So especially when you're losing weight and you're in a caloric deficit, it's a lot harder to build muscle. But I'm assuming a lot of you guys watching these videos are new to the gym, noobs per se. So you don't have to worry about that too much, but for experienced lifters and people that have been lifting for a while, you know that it's really hard to gain muscle when you're cutting, when you're losing weight. So I say all that to say that just make sure you're hitting your grams of protein every day so that the effort that you're putting in the gym with resistance training is worth it and you're actually building muscle. Oh yeah, last thing too, guys, in between your sets when you're lifting, take your time. You guys don't have to go back and hit it again like in 1 minute, right? I think a lot of people have this thing where they're like, they can't rest too long between sets. I'd say, guys, rest even 3 minutes if you want to, like 2 minutes 30 seconds, because I much rather you guys rest longer between sets and lift more than lift less and her performance be damaged just because you want to hit the next set real quick. So yeah, just quick thing I want to say about that. Alright, moving on to the next section of this video is expectations. I want to measure your guys' expectations because I feel like this is one of the biggest reasons people don't actually lose weight. So in my weight loss transformation from here to here, right, it actually took me 8 months. I'm not sure if I even mentioned that in the beginning of this video, guys, but yeah, it was 8 months, 40 pounds, 8 months. I probably should have mentioned that. I hope I did. I hope I put that somewhere. But the reason why it took 8 months is because that's how all natural weight loss transformations should happen if you want to get a good amount of muscle in the end, right? Another, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, who's like a popular fitness influencer, like bodybuilder dude, he mentioned how people typically undermine how long their weight loss transformation is going to get. So like a random person would say, you know what, it'll probably take me 4 months to lose these 40 pounds. He always says, just double it. So whatever you think is going to take you to lose your weight, like just off the top of your head, oh, maybe 3 months, double it, 6. You know what I mean? Because it's going to actually take that much longer. In fact, when it comes to weight loss transformation, you don't want to lose more than 1.5 to 1 pound per week, right? That's a healthy rate to lose weight. 2 would be like aggressive. So I say all that to say because I want you guys to measure your expectations. It's not going to come off quick and the scale is not going to go down quick either. Right? You know, a really interesting thing in my weight loss transformation that I think will help you guys is that I didn't see a huge difference in the mirror. I'm being dead serious until 6 months in. Like my scale was going down. Like I saw the weight coming down from like 199 to like 185 to 180 to 178, like over the course of the 6 months, right? But in the mirror, I did not look that different. Right? And for a lot of people that would be discouraging. Imagine if you're doing everything right, you're counting your calories, you're hitting your macros, you're in the gym, you're doing progressive overload, you're getting stronger, and despite the scale saying you're going lower, you don't see a difference in the mirror. But that is perfectly normal. That's in fact something that you guys should be very aware of, right? And I was aware of too, and I kept persisting, right? So another thing I want to say is do not rely on the mirror for your results, right, guys? Rely on the scale. The scale is the objective truth of where you are, right? Relative to where you started. The mirror, though, it's hard to gauge where you're really at, right? Because I looked practically the same at 199 when I was 175, right? It wasn't until I went a little bit lower than 175 that I started to see results, right? And I think my lowest was 155 in my journey, which was, you know, the 40 pounds. Alright, so the fourth section of this video, right? So at this point, guys, you guys have practically all the necessary knowledge you need to get started on your journey. But I'm going to heed you guys with this one warning, which was my biggest mistake during my weight loss transformation. So as far as everything I told you guys, that's exactly what I did to have my weight loss transformation. You know, I counted the calories, I hit the macros, I hit the gym hard, had good rest. You know, I resisted temptation to eat food for pleasure. I resisted temptation from friends to eat out. Like, I did everything right. But the one thing that I did wrong, which I realized in the last year actually, that I've made a great effort to change, is that I did not eat healthy enough. So even if you guys are hitting the right macros at the right ratios, I realized, I guess within the last year, how unhealthy processed food is as a whole and how much it affects your hormonal health, your well-being, I mean literally everything about you. And in my weight loss transformation, I ate stuff like this, like that, and like that. And I felt so lucky because these were recipes that I found online that were like high in protein, low in carb, and a lot of protein powder. And I was like, man, I just hacked the weight loss. Like I'm eating stuff like this and I'm still losing weight. Mind you, I literally ate stuff like this every single day. I actually made a TikTok about that and people didn't believe me. But yeah, if you want to follow the guy that makes content like that, his name is the Flexible Dieting Lifestyle. But that's besides the point. I'm saying that me eating like that was actually tremendously unhealthy, and I didn't really get put on to eating healthy until like a year ago because I didn't realize how much processed food, how much food that is genetically engineered, you know, genetically modified food affects our well-being, our mental health even, our energy levels day to day, our mannerisms, our look. So it's not necessary, but guys, I really plead you that you guys eat organic, whole foods, micronutrient dense food. We talked a lot about macronutrients, but micronutrients are probably just as important, if not more, which means your vitamins, your minerals, foods that are filled with vitamin, mineral content, foods that are organic, that are not modified, filled with hormones like estrogen, you know, and conventional dairy and meat filled with estrogen, you know, it's just not good for you. Also, too, like I mentioned earlier in the video, processed food is designed just by nature to be addictive. It's literally engineered to hack your dopamine, to hack your taste buds so that you just want more of it. So the sooner that you guys can disconnect from processed food, disconnect from genetically modified food, and just eat organic whole food. I'm talking about fruits, I'm talking about organic meats, I'm talking about, you know, just the basic stuff. If you can eat that every single day, you will do so much for your body, for your mind, your hormonal health, your testosterone. It will be night and day, but I cannot get into it in detail into this video, but I do recommend following a YouTube channel called 𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀. He dives deep into the importance of eating organic food. He's also a dude that knows so much about natural testosterone optimization, so I really recommend you guys watch this channel. He really changed my outlook on food as a whole. I used to be like, yo, if it fits my macros and my calories, I'm eating it, you know, I don't care. But he's really changed me in that way. So that was my greatest mistake. I wish that I went through the journey and incorporated that, because then I would have ended up at the end of the journey ripped and healthy, meaning like healthy, like with tons of energy, high testosterone, like feeling great, right? So yeah. Alright, now in the second to last section of this video, I call this section just bonus tips, things that will make your journey a lot easier. First of which I will say is weigh yourself every day, guys. That is like really, really, really important. In my journey, I actually weighed myself every single day. You can see like the small ups and downs right there. And the reason I tell you guys to do this is because you want to measure your weekly averages every week. And your weekly averages will tell you if you're making progress, if all the effort you're putting in is actually working, right? Because I told you guys you need to lose about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds per week, right? So let's say for the first week, you know, it looks like this, right? It looks like this for the first week, right? I want to take every point and divide it by 7, and that's my weekly average for that week, right? Now we go into the next week, right? Same rule, every point divided by 7. The difference between those 2 weeks, right, is how much weight I lost between those 2 weeks, right? And you want to do this every single week as you go through your journey. Weigh yourself every day, record it at the end of every week, get your average, measure it to last week's average, and see if you are actually going down or not, right? Because your weight fluctuates every day. I think we know that. That's why a lot of people don't want to weigh themselves every day, because they weigh one day and it's up and it's down. They're like, oh my gosh. No. It's the weekly average that really determines where you're at, right? So you want to measure the weekly average every single week. This also plays into how I was telling you guys you can't trust what you see in the mirror. So the reason that I was still able to put in that effort despite the fact that I didn't see progress in the mirror is because I was weighing myself every day and I saw the weekly average was going down. So I knew I was doing something right. I just didn't lose enough weight to see my gains yet. The second bonus tip that I want to add, guys, is intermittent fasting. I'm sure you guys heard it before. It's when you eat in an 8-hour window every day. So you fast for 16 hours and then you eat only your calories in an 8-hour window. That was something I did for my weight loss transformation, and I will say it did make it easier for me to stay within my caloric deficit and hit my macros and be full. The reason why I didn't add it as a necessity in the diet section is because it actually isn't necessary. Like, this is not something that you need to do to lose weight, as versus everything else that I put in the diet section. That was necessary. But intermittent fasting is more of a tool, a way that you can stay satiated when you eat in a caloric deficit, because naturally, like I said, the amount of calories going in is less than the calories you're burning. So your body will get hungry at times. But if you're in an intermittent fasting state, you're kind of like using evolutionary psychology to your benefit, because you have to remember, back in the day, we didn't get food always like that. We were, a lot of the time, we were fasting until we hunted for something. And so in other words, I say that to say that our bodies are naturally made to fast for specific amounts of time. So when you do intermittent fasting, you're kind of using your body's natural, I want to say, evolutionary wiring to your advantage, because your body is built to fast for a good amount of time. And it's a lot easier also too, whenever you're getting your meals, to have 2 big meals versus 3 kind of small meals. You know what I mean? Because when you're in a caloric deficit and you try to eat 3 meals a day, it's going to be smaller meals than you're used to. So I think it's just better to intermittent fast, rather have 2 big meals that actually satisfy you, and when you're in the fasted time of the day, your body's natural evolutionary wiring will kick in and you won't really feel that hungry. The third bonus tip that I want to give you guys is accountability. I feel like that's something that you really should leverage in your journey. You know, a lot of us have big aspirations, have big dreams, and I think the biggest reason why we don't sometimes pull through or stay consistent on things is that we have no one keeping us accountable except ourselves. And I'm sure, as you know, you can trick yourself out of anything if you're stressed or overwhelmed enough to just quit, right? So I would recommend going on this journey with a friend, with somebody that's of the same mindset, the same approach, somebody that can keep you accountable and you keep them accountable. So finding an accountability partner will hands down definitely make your progress a lot smoother and consistent because you're going through it with somebody, and also it will help you fight off your own urges, inclinations just to quit because you have somebody watching you. I wouldn't go far enough to say to like announce on your social media, I'm gonna lose weight, and if I don't, you know, all you guys can like don't be that person on your story saying like doing big announcements, but tell a close friend that wants to do this, share this video with him, and go on it together. Maybe potentially you guys every night could like share how much calories you ate, you know, your macros, what workouts you did, and just keep it consistent and return to this video and subscribe to me. I'm playing. So yeah guys, those are my 3 bonus tips to make your journey a lot better. If you made it to this part of the video, the final section, which I called your approach, this is the best way and the way that I did to get started on my journey. Alright, so what is your approach? What can you do after finishing this video so that you can get started on your own weight loss transformation journey, and this can be your last weight loss transformation video. Alright, so to recap, you should have your maintenance calories, you should have your caloric deficit, you should have your macros for your caloric deficit, you should have a weightlifting resistance training program that incorporates progressive overload, right, 3 to 5 days a week, right? You potentially could be using intermittent fasting or accountability partner, and you're also weighing yourself every day, right? So how are we gonna get all that in, get all that going? Alright, so for week 1 of your journey, the only thing I want you guys to do is just to count your calories, guys. Counting your calories is the crux of this, right? This is the main part. So I don't want you to even change your eating habits. Eat the same way that you are. I just want you guys to become calorie aware. Just get used to the idea of pulling out your phone before you eat, scanning the barcode, or searching up something on the database that doesn't have a one-to-one match. Like maybe you got a pizza from this local pizza store, you can't really incorporate it, just searching up a similar pizza like from Domino's or something that's on the database. I just want you guys to get aware of counting your calories. That's all I want you to do for week 1. Just count your calories. That's it. Don't worry about macros, don't worry about caloric deficit, just count your calories and become aware and get used to that process. That's all you have to do for week 1. Alright, now for week 2, being that you just finished 7 days of counting your calories, being you know how to navigate the app, you know how to intake stuff into your calorie app, I want you guys to count your calories, but this time try to hit your caloric deficit and your macros, right? So this is going to be the hard part. This is going to be the part where you're going to be faced with some challenges. You're going to start realizing that, hey, all the stuff you were eating is nowhere near the amount that you should be eating. Yeah, hitting macros is really hard. It's really hard to get your protein up there. It's hard to keep your fats low, right? You're going to be faced with some resistance. So this is the part this week is where you're going to start to learn how to count your calories, but the right way, with all the knowledge I gave you about calories in versus calories out, right? About your caloric maintenance and yada yada. Also this week too, I want you guys to start weighing yourself every day. Being that this is going to be the first week that you're in your caloric deficit, this means this is your week 1 of weight loss. So week 3 and moving forward, you're going to count your calories, be in a caloric deficit, count your macros, weighing yourself, but now you're going to start incorporating your training program. You're going to start incorporating potentially intermittent fasting. And finally, if you can, trying to eat only whole organic foods, micronutrient dense foods. This is the method moving forward all the way until you lose weight. Guys, we have reached the end of this video. This is the second video I've ever made on this channel. And recording this video was, I'm not gonna lie, kind of exhausting. I tried to do a knowledge dump of everything so that, you guys could lose weight. Now, obviously I couldn't get into the nitty-gritty of a lot of things, but I think I gave you guys the basics, everything you need to just get started on your journey and have a successful weight loss transformation video. And as the title says, this should be your last weight loss transformation video, but it doesn't have to be your last Michael Drift video. I'd appreciate if you guys shared the video, commented, liked, subscribed, check out my socials, and yeah, man, this is a big video, but I'm exhausted. But hopefully you guys can have great luck on your journey. Maybe you can find an accountability partner in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. I should have like an outro saying or something. Yo, it's Michael Drift. Purpose over pleasure. We turn pain to passion. Is that good? I don't know. Alright, bye.